From the Real Estate Center at Texas A&M University, it's the Real Estate Red Zone. We are your weekly scouting report for residential, commercial, retail, and industrial markets and everything in between. Today is Wednesday, March 21st, 2012. I'm Bryan Pope, Recon Editor here at the Real Estate Center.
And I'm Edie Craig, News Talk Texas and Market Report Coordinator. Ready to hit the road? Well, good, because today we're traveling to Rockport, Pflugerville, Pharr, Houston, Dallas, Austin, and Waco.
You might say we're going near and far. We'll also visit with Real Estate Center attorney Judon Fambrough, who has tips for landowners about negotiating gas pipeline easements. But first, here's today's top story from the Houston real estate blog, Swamp Lot.
Phillips 66 plans to build a new headquarters building near I-10 and Beltway 8 in Houston once it splits from ConocoPhillips. The new HQ will be within 10 miles of ConocoPhillips' current headquarters at 600 North Dairy Ashford Road. The Houston Business Journal adds to the story, saying that during the 2 to 3 year construction period on the new facility, Phillips 66 employees will be located in temporary locations in the company's current space in Westlake Park office buildings on a Memorial Drive and an unidentified building in the West Chase area. Now, isn't that something? Wouldn't you like to know where that is?
I would. We'll see what we can find out.
I'm not going to let that out. Yeah. We'll hit other headlines in a moment with a Recon recap and small towns, big deals. But first, here's what's happening around the Real Estate Center.
Well, first of all, congratulations are in order for Debbie Natiji of Spring and Gretchen Valdez of Pipe Creek. They were selected randomly from among the hundreds of respondents to our Tierra Grande magazine readership survey that we did fairly recently. Their feedback earned each of them a $50 Amazon.com gift card. I got to get me one of those. Debbie is a realtor with Keller Williams Realty Professionals. Gretchen is an inactive broker and founder of Pipe Creek Realty. Edie, you're going to like this next one. This is from the mailbox. I actually got email.
You did?
I did. I got reader feedback.
Good.
I received an email a couple of weeks ago from a Miss Raylene Lewis, who is a realtor here in Bryan, College Station. And Raylene writes, "Hi, Bryan. A friend with Zodiac Productions gave me this flyer, and I thought you would find it recon-worthy. Apparently, there is a new reality real estate TV series, and they are looking for homeowners and realtors who have a story to share. Let me know if you have any questions. Too bad it is in October. This would be perfect for your Halloween issue." Well, I printed off the flyer, and I'm going to share it right now, if you'll indulge me.
Certainly, everyone. I know you can see that.
What's that?
I know everyone can see it.
Well, I'll read it.
Okay.
Let's see. Does your house have an eerie history that you just can't live with? Perhaps you're sharing your home with forces from the spirit world. Maybe a grueling murder took place there. Is this starting to sound familiar, like something we've done here at the Red Zone, say, the last 2 Halloweens? All right, anyway, if you're trying to sell your haunted house, we want to talk to you. We are looking for haunted, notorious, or just plain spooky homes that are up for sale. Please email us if you own or someone you know owns a haunted house on the market. You can email your story to Hillary.Britton, that's Britten, at zodiacusa.com. Include your name, contact information, yada, 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 yada. It's not something that we'd include in Recon, but for today's podcast, sure, you know. And I agree with Raylene that it would have been a perfect inclusion in our Halloween episode, but, you know, that's 7 months away, and by then, who knows where that TV program will be, you know. But if you do plan on sending your haunted house story to Miss Hillary Britton, be sure to blind copy me, because it would be a load off my mind to know that I'm 7 months ahead on our Halloween podcast, because we are going to be asking for people to share their scary real estate stories once again.
How do you spell Hillary? Is it with 1 L or 2 L's?
You know, I'm glad you asked that, because it's just one.
So it's Hilary?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yes.
What fun.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. The March 2nd edition of Recon included an interesting story about a study by a doctoral candidate with the College of Architecture here at A&M. The student, Manish Dixit, found that the use of durable construction materials in a building's maintenance and renovations can reduce the building's carbon footprint. Now, Manish received an award from the International Council for Research and Innovation in Building and Construction for his research. And I actually interviewed him for our, I believe it was our March 7th podcast, but because of technical problems, we were unable to use it. Now, Manish was very enthusiastic about the interview, and he was generous with his time and his knowledge, so I wanted just to take a quick moment and thank him for that, and also to publicly congratulate him on his award. I mean, that's just wonderful.
It is.
And if you'd like to read more about his study, Texas A&M put out a press release that talks all about it, and I have posted a link to that from our podcast webpage, so you can find it there. Now, without further ado, let's move on with today's Recon Recap. The latest Improving Markets Index, released last week by the National Association of Home Builders, shows significant improvements in 99 housing markets in the United States. The index, which identifies metropolitan areas with at least 6 consecutive months of improvements in housing permits, home prices, and employment, now has 12 Texas cities, including newcomers Austin and San Antonio. Other Texas cities making the list are Amarillo, College Station, Dallas, Laredo, Longview, McAllen, Midland, Odessa, Tyler, and Victoria. Nice little list there. The controversial Ashby high-rise apartment project in Houston will likely get built near Rice University, reports the Houston Business Journal and the Houston Chronicle. This latest development comes after nearly 5 years of opposition from neighborhood residents. The city of Houston reached an agreement with Buckhead Investment Partners, which plans to build a 228-unit, 21-story building at the corner of Ashby and Bissonnette. Terms of the agreement require Buckhead to design the parking structure so that traffic is diverted away from the neighborhood. They are also required to revise the design to reduce light and noise from the structure. Wingspan Portfolio Advisors, LLC, a company that services delinquent loans, is expanding its operations to Dallas. This comes from the Dallas Business Journal. The Carrollton-based company signed a lease for the 135,000 square foot Gray Mercy Center South building at 18451 North Dallas Parkway. Jones Lang LaSalle represented Wingspan in the transaction, which was negotiated and executed in just 80 days to meet a contract that required 500 additional loan servicing employees to be operational immediately. The 1,700-acre Trinity Falls project in Collin County has been sold to a private investor for $27.5 million, reports the Dallas Morning News. The residential development north of McKinney was planned with 4,100 residential lots but was delayed after Dallas-based Marlin Atlantis went into bankruptcy during the recession. Is more Class A office coming to Houston's West Chase submarket? Well, we spec so. The Houston Business Journal reports that Dallas-based Granite Properties will break ground this spring on a 300,000 square foot Class A speculative office building at 3141 Briar Park Drive. The 12-story granite Briar Park Green will be next to a building owned by PGAL Architects, which it turns out is designing the new building. Hoare Construction will serve as general contractor. Construction is estimated to take 14 months. Granite will aim for LEED Gold certification. Sales of existing single-family homes in the capital city were up 16% last month from a year ago, reports the Austin Board of Realtors. According to MLS data released yesterday by ABOR, 1,283 homes were sold in February 2012, while the median price was $195,000, which was 3% more than the same time last year. From the Waco Tribune, home foreclosures in Waco were up slightly in December 2011, but remained well below the national level, according to the latest report from property tracking company CoreLogic. The California-based firm said the city's foreclosure rate was at 1.2%, which was up 0.7 of 1% from December 2010. The national foreclosure rate in December 2011 was 3.37%. And lastly, Spire advances to Park Place. The Houston Chronicle reports that an 18-story Houston office building overlooking Memorial Park has been purchased by Spire Realty of Dallas. The 341,947 square foot building at 1177 West Loop South was sold by locally based Griffin Partners and Erdang. The building, which is 96% leased, recently underwent more than $2.6 million in renovations. CB Richard Ellis represented the sellers. And Edie, that's all I have for today's Recon Recap. What's happening around small town Texas?
Let's go retail shopping in Pharr, which is in the McAllen area, because Costco has opened its 151,000 square foot store at 1501 West Kelly Avenue. Pharr city officials agreed to pay the store $11 million, including $6.5 million to help purchase the property, $1.5 million for construction, and $3 million in incentives after opening. The location is just a half mile from another membership warehouse. Who could that be? Sam's Club at 1400 East Jackson Avenue in McAllen, and it drew inevitable comparisons from locals. Bryan, they even have a $179,000 engagement ring.
Oh, don't tell my wife that.
I won't. You'll find this under the McAllen area, under News Talk Texas. It's called Costco Opens in Pharr. Heading to the Austin area, where Pflugerville construction is underway on the Mansions at Stone Hill, an apartment complex at the Stone Hill Town Center near State Highway 130. Plans for the Mansions at Stone Hill call for 370 units, and new residents should be able to move in around November the 1st. The apartments will be near 24-Hour Fitness, Home Depot, and Super Target, as well as Cinemark Movie Theater and St. David's Emergency Center. You'll find this under Austin. It's called Pflugerville Mansions at Stone Hill, a stone's throw away. And heading to the Corpus area to the Rockport area, where Lee Swearingen of Coldwell Banker, the Ron Brown Company, has released residential sales data, including condo and townhomes and single-family sales. I want to talk about single-family home sales in Rockport. From February 2011 to February 2012, they had a 50% rise in home sales. They went from 14 to 21 sales. And the total dollar volume from February 2011, it was $2.4 million. February 2012, it was $5.3 million. That is a 120% rise. There's more on our website under Corpus Christi. It's called Rockport Home Sales Soar in February. We've got a great chart, and we will also link you to Coldwell Banker, the Ron Brown Company.
While we're in Corpus, did you see that story yesterday or earlier this week? The latest development on the outlet mall in Robstown. Apparently they have more partners for that, and so that's getting back on track. You know, that 300,000 something square foot outlet mall on Highway 77 and going through Robstown. They've been talking about this for several years, and my parents are just, well, my mom could not be more excited about this. This has been a big deal for a while.
5 years in the making. I mean, they're still adamant it's going in. I have hopes. Don't you?
I hope very much. Of course, now when we go visit my parents, my mom and my wife are going to have another place to go shopping other than, you know, Moore Plaza or La Palmera.
Okay, Bryan. You asked for it, and before too long, the 2012 market reports will be online. There are 25 of them this year, as there were last year. So when you go to the market reports, there aren't just 4. You click on the year, and there are 25 there. From Abilene to Wichita Falls, from Dallas-Fort Worth to Austin and Houston, there is everything from housing activity and statistics to apartment data to 2010 migration. I bet you would want to know how many people moved into an area and what was their age, and who are the major employers. Also, we added more Texas Workforce Commission, civilian labor force employment estimates for Texas cities. So now we have Paris and Schertz and Seguin and Socorro and Cleburne and Houston and more, and they're in every single one of the 25 reports. So even if you're a smaller town, you will be in one of those 25 reports. There's also a map of commercial airports of Texas, and a special thank you to Texas A&M students Corey Merton and Katie Barker of Brenham, Taylor Fitzner of Belton, and Cody Price from Ohio, who worked so diligently on these reports.
Well done, everyone.
And also to Nancy Pushton, who is managing editor, who has moved the process along quickly for you, our listeners.
Yeah, well done, Nancy, too. Rah-rah.
Stay tuned to Recon for the aha announcement that 25 Mark reports are online.
We'll also be posting it on Twitter and on Facebook. We're going to use every avenue we can to make sure people know when these things are out there.
That's it for Small Towns Big Deals, Bryan.
We've been hearing a lot of news about drilling activity in the Texas shale regions, and we're only going to be hearing more about it because of all the activity in the Eagleford. So here to talk about this today is our resident attorney, Judon Fambrough. Judon, welcome back to the Red Zone.
Well, thank you.
Now, all of this news, this is great news economically, for the local economies, and it's also good news for mineral rights holders, but it can be a headache for landowners who have surface rights only because they may not be prepared to deal with the pipeline companies and negotiations. And you're here to give us some tips. Tell us what landowners need to know as far as the negotiation process goes.
Yeah, Bryan, Texas can be divided, or is divided in two estates, the mineral estate and the surface estate. And the mineral owners are the ones who are really benefiting from bonus and royalty checks coming in from production. But the surface owner bears all the burden. They got the drill sites and all this sort of thing. Not only do they get the drill sites, but they get the pipelines. And the pipelines, especially your cross-country pipelines, have a right of condemnation or eminent domain. And they deal with the surface owner, not the mineral owner. So you could have the surface and the mineral split, come a cross-country pipeline, and they deal with the surface owner. Now, the surface owner will get paid something. The question is, do they get paid? Fair market value is always an issue, but they'll get paid something. But where they put the line, the interference it will with their property, most people just soon not have them. But you can't get rid of them because if you tell them no, they're going to condemn it anyway. So it's really a matter, do I try to make a deal with them or do I go to eminent domain or condemnation? And the condemnation process, a lot of people don't understand, is divided into three stages. First, they have to attempt to purchase it. That's where they contact you and say, here's our proposed easement. We want to come across your property with a 20-inch pipeline, et cetera, et cetera. If y'all can't make a deal, then the condemnor will go up into stage 2, and then they go to the special commissioner's court, and the judge in the county, usually the district judge, will appoint 3 people to serve as special commissioners. These are local landowners, and they settle as a panel. Both sides will give issues of how much the damages are for the pipeline. And after that, they can start putting the pipeline in right after the award is posted if they post adequate security. But either party can then appeal from then up into what we call the third stage, or you can have a full judicial trial on the matter. So each stage is important. Landowners, first you got to negotiate. Can't negotiate, then you go to special commissioners. And then even special commissioners, whether you agree with them or not, either party can go on up to a full trial, a full-born trial. People that practice in this area say it doesn't make any sense to go to a trial unless the amount of controversy exceeds $500,000, simply because you cannot recover your attorney fees. So people I'm going to get my attorney and I'm going to make sure that all my rights are protected. Better figure out how much that attorney is going to cost you if you start going into stage 2 and 3. Now, you don't need an attorney in stage 1 if you know what you're doing, and that's why we wrote the condemnation or understand the condemnation process, so people could represent themselves during this negotiation stage in stage 1 and hopefully come out with a big deal, because it's a matter of negotiations, asking the right questions. And that's really kind of a series of things I have. First, we go through the condemnation process in 394, and then we talk about all the things they need to negotiate for their benefit. Not everybody can get everything, but it gives you an idea of what you should ask for anyway.
Judon, talk a little more about the process. I mean, what happens when a landowner is approached by someone representing a pipeline company?
Bryan, what happens when somebody comes in and knocks on the door and say, I'm here from right-of-way agent representing this pipeline? First thing people usually ask is, how much money are you paying? And like, I got a series of questions here. The first thing you should ask has nothing to do with money. It's simply, if it's a right-of-way agent, show me your certificate that you have registered with the TREC. if you are a right-of-way agent in Texas, you have to be a registered right-of-way agent with the Texas Real Estate Commission. If you're not, I'd tell the people to hit the road. So first of all, I want to see your registration. 2, who's your supervisor? A lot of these people try to suppress information, give you a bad deal so they look good to their superiors. Find out who their superior are before you ever start negotiating. Who's your superior and who can I get a hold of? How can I get a hold of him or her? That way, if you will need to go up the ladder, you've already got it out. Number 3, show me a copy of your T4 form filed with the Railroad Commission. The Texas Railroad Commission requires this filing of a T4 form by the condemnor before they have a right of eminent domain. If 1, this guy hadn't registered, and 2, if they hadn't filed a T4 form, hit the road, Jack, because you don't have to deal with them. They don't have the power of eminent domain then, so make sure these people are closed. And that's just the beginning of the many things that we talk about in this article.
Okay, and this is all covered in the article you just referenced. It's called Understanding the Condemnation Process in Texas, and you have fully updated it, and it's available free to be downloaded from our website. Judon, as always, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bryan.
And by the way, next month's issue of Tierra Grande magazine will include an article about the impact eagle-furred shell activity is expected to have on South Texas communities and what those communities are doing to prepare for it. So we look forward to that.
That's it for this week's show. Be sure to link to our podcast page from your own website or blog. And while you're online, become our friend on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We will keep you posted on the latest happenings here at the Real Estate Center.
Also, be sure to write to us like Raylene did. If you have comments or questions about today's show, send us an email at texrec@recenter.tamu.edu. From the Real Estate Center, where we've been helping Texans make better real estate decisions for more than 40 years, this is Bryan Pope.
And this is Edie Craig. Thank you so much for joining us today in the Real Estate Red Zone. Bye everyone.